Welcome back to Bravo Breaking News with Kim and Lisa.
Okay, so on this week's Real Housewives of Orange County, shit is going down in London town. And I mean figuratively and literally. Like Shannon is super backed up, but also we have Tamra spilling secrets right and left.
I mean, there's so much going on. I told you earlier, I was so riled up after last night's episode, but I know that you have some unpopular opinions, which I can't wait to hear. So guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button and let's dive right in.
Let's do it. All right, so we pick up back in Tamra and Heather's room where they're getting glam, and Jen bursts in, right, and is just furious with Tamra.
Yeah, let's talk about that because we didn't cover last week's episode. So yes. I need to hear all your thoughts about that because I loved every second.
Oh, me too. 100%. Jen has finally found her voice and is basically standing up to Tamra. Like, she's given Tamra so many passes over the last 2 seasons, and she is Taylor Armstrong enough, right? She says, Shannon just told me that you did a background check on Ryan. I don't know why that was the straw that broke the camel's back because, I mean, I wasn't surprised when I heard that. But she is pissed. And I gotta add, like, she looks so good. I'm loving this outfit that she has on while she's, annihilating Tamra. Her hair looks great. Tamra's makeup isn't done. And then she leaves and Heather's like, her tummy looks really good. And I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, she has the flattest stomach. She had a tummy tuck, but still looks amazing.
Oh my gosh, I loved every second of it. She looked gorgeous, head to toe. Zara, love a Zara queen. I am one myself. I loved every second of it. She nailed everything she said about Tamra in those confessional moments. Like, Tamra never takes accountability. She never says sorry. She's never been a true friend. And I think that the background check was just like you said, the straw that broke the camel's back, but like, stop meddling in my life. Like, this is enough. You've done enough. You called out the investigation. You've accused him of, being investigated by the FBI. The house was ransacked and looked into by the FBI. Like, come on. Like, when is your, how much more are you going to do? It's just like, it was enough, and I would have been in the same boat as her.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So Tamra immediately starts saying, Shannon was behind this just as much as I was. She just didn't show you those parts of the text. And when we saw some screenshots, it was too fast for me to read, but I paused a little bit. And basically Shannon's saying, we should look into this. So is Shannon partially to blame for this behavior? And like, why do you think Shannon brought it to Jen knowing that she was sort of involved?
Okay. I know everybody's going to call me a Shannon apologist because I will ride or die for this lady. But, I will admit when she is wrong. However, I don't think that this is one of those cases because Tamra further explains that Shannon had gone to her about this because Leslie Bedore, who is David's ex-wife at this point. I don't know if they're still together or officially divorced.
Oh, that's the new ex-wife.
The new ex-wife, her ex
Leslie Bedore,
was involved in this. So that seems like what kind of drove Shannon to want to look into this. Like, what the hell is going on? There's this thing about the selling timeshares in another country, but not building them. So this whole scam. And she said that it was about Leslie Bedore's ex-husband. So I want to believe that that is what culminated this interest in this whole thing. And then they found out that Ryan was also involved too. And if you read the text, Shannon says something to the effect of, Jen should know what she's dealing with. So it kind of seemed like they found out that Ryan was involved in this, although that wasn't the initial goal. And then if they did find out that Ryan was involved, she would want to tell Jen, which I'm defending here.
Yeah.
Let me know your thoughts.
No, I feel like that's right. But then Tamra said, okay, well, let me have someone do a background check on him. So why is that worse than what Shannon was saying?
Well, I don't think Shannon initiated it to look into Ryan. I don't think that was her goal. I think she had a separate goal. Ryan was maybe found out to be involved in this. I don't know. Just the way
it's murky for me. It's murky for me because it's like Shannon's showing her this text saying, I'm going to do a background check on Ryan. But like Shannon then is saying, yeah, Jen should know what she's dealing with. So I feel like she was sort of, even if it wasn't her initial goal, she was sort of like, this guy might be shady and I think we should look into it. Her intentions might have been better than Tamra's, probably. Like she might have been wanting to kind of help the girl out and Tamra was wanting to take her down. So maybe that's where the disconnect is. But I don't know. I don't think Shannon is, like totally innocent in this.
I agree. But there seems to be a repeating pattern with these very muddy storylines and who is to blame. And the common denominator is fucking Tamra Judge. We will get to the throwing down the stairs part. This is the second time she is now talking about somebody throwing somebody down the stairs. Didn't know that happened so much in Orange County, but apparently it does. And I just think that it is Tamra's way of deflecting. This is textbook deflection. She gets called out for the background check, so she's going to deflect and bring up every other story that could possibly shift the focus to somebody else. And I see it. I see right through you, Tamra Judge. I know exactly what she's doing, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it.
Yeah. Okay, what about Tamra and Heather becoming like besties? They are attached to the hip on this trip. They're sharing a room, but they're always together. They are co-conspirators in every move. I'm like, this is weirding me out because they've never been super close and it's just strange. I don't know what Heather's play is here.
I agree. Heather Dubrow has completely lost me this season.
Yeah.
I cannot stand by her. Even though we have this new storyline coming up that Tamra is now dropping another bombshell, again, textbook deflection. We have the ladies, Heather, Tamra, and Gina going to Caviar, Jen, Emily, and Katie going to a pub. They are splitting up, and it seems like Tamra has planned to tell Heather in this moment about something that is so odd, like it is crazy. Okay, so let's break this down. Tamra tells Heather that while Katie's daughter was babysitting Emily's kids, that Emily's kids say that they don't like Heather, that they're mean to their mom, and that their mom, Emily, said that Heather's bossy. Now, we get a lot more about this, but initial reactions on this. Now, Emily's 8-year-old son's getting pulled
entering the chat. Yeah. My first thought was, why would these boys be talking about their mom's friend? Like, I'm kind of with Gina here. I don't think that they really said that. Maybe they said like, oh, Heather's the bossy one or something like that. But she is. And that's not necessarily like terrible. Saying that she's mean to my mom. I don't know. Maybe they overheard her telling Shane about something Heather did a long time ago and they held on to that. Like, I don't know, but I don't think it's that terrible. I think it gets weirder when then Emily says, no, I've never said that to my kids. I've never said that in front of my kids. And it was actually Katie. No, I'm sorry, not Katie. Katie's daughter who said it to them. And now Katie's daughter is saying that the boys said it. I'm like, this is getting so weird. And like, why would Katie's daughter feed 8-year-olds information about their mom's friend to see if it comes back around? Like, I'm sorry. That doesn't make sense to me at all. And I just don't see anyone doing that. So I feel like, yes, Emily, you're like, no, we don't talk about anything in front of my kids. You probably don't. But kids are always listening. You might have been on a phone call. They heard you from the other room, or, you were in the car and you thought they were like playing on their iPads, but they were listening. Things happen. And I don't know. What do you believe here?
So I agree with you. I don't think Emily went to her 8-year-old sons and was like, Heather's mean to me. Yeah. But I would not be surprised if she said this to Shane and they overheard, because it's true.
It's true.
Heather and Emily and Heather and Katie have had issues with each other all season long. So if the kids picked up on it, surprise, surprise. No, it's not a surprise at all that the kids know that Heather is, I don't know, they didn't say it, but being a bitch to Emily and Katie. And I don't know, the fact that Emily said she would have never brought this up. She knew that this was going around. She said in a confessional she wasn't going to bring it up to camera because it involves the kids, and that's Housewives Rules 101. You don't bring the kids into it, especially these 8-year-old sons.
8-year-olds.
Kylie, I think her name is, Katie's daughter, is 18, so that's a different story. But come on, Tamra. So Tamra is obviously, once again, an example of deflection, telling this to Heather. But Heather's reaction, please, come on, crying, oh my God, I am devastated. This hurts me so much. Like, please, Heather, are you being for real right now? Like, this is not a legitimate reaction to a child saying that you've been mean to their mom, because no lies detected. It's true. And it's just, I can't with this storyline. No, it's like laughable.
It is, seriously. I think this is kind of where I started to turn off, because I was like, what even are these fights? And you mentioned my, potentially controversial opinions. By the end of this episode, I was bored. I was like, I'm over this. I feel like we're going on a merry-go-round. It's just who's pointing at who. It's that Spider-Man meme of like, they're all pointing at each other and everyone's to blame, but no one's to blame at the same time. And it's getting too dark for me. These accusations about, okay, wait, sorry, I'll save that for the end. But it's just getting a little too monotonous. And then the accusations are starting to get dark. And I don't like when the kids are getting involved. It's not necessary. They have enough drama on their own that they can stick to. So, okay, that's where we're at here.
Okay, but now, before we move further, okay, Who's to blame for all of these storylines and issues coming up?
Tamra.
Exactly.
Tamra brings everything to camera.
If you're saying you're bored and you're over this season and it's becoming monotonous and you're not understanding the storylines, in my opinion, there is one person to blame for that, and that is Tamra Judge. And therein lies the issue.
Yeah. And honestly, at this point, I don't see why any of these women would ever tell Tamra anything. Nope. Because she will take any opportunity to throw it back in your face or to throw you under the bus. And she's done it over and over and over again. So that's why I'm like, Heather, you're smarter than this. I don't know why you're buddying up to Tamra. She's going to turn on you too.
100%. Couldn't agree more.
Okay. Now, I do have to say, Tamra does have her moments on screen when I think she's funny. One of those moments is when Heather tells her, we're doing an etiquette class before dinner. And Tamra just uncrosses her legs and like spreads them wide and leans forward, the least ladylike thing you can do. And she's like, no fucking way. And then Heather says, yeah, we're doing an etiquette class. And she's like, just me?
You need it.
I wish it was just for Tamra. I wish it was just like, yes, I've scheduled this for you. You're going to go in this room while we all go to dinner. And oh God, that would have been amazing. So that little moment, I was like, sometimes she is fucking funny. But apart from that, she's a monster.
Oh yeah. And I mean, talk about funny. Let's talk about Shannon's vacation constipation.
Oh my God.
Because I, for one, can relate 100%. I am Shannon. This was so crazy to watch. I loved it so much.
Well, she's not the only one, right? Like Emily's backed up too. And so then Katie gives her some poop pills. They're talking about poop pills in front of the etiquette lady. And Emily's like, I'm going to have to get up and go to the bathroom because this is just going right through me. And it's like, oh my God, you guys, but it is relatable. Like that happens, especially on a, overseas trip where there's a time change, there's long flights, and it happens. And I guess I have to applaud them for keeping it real.
Yeah. Oh my God. I mean, Shannon, like that moment, I'm sorry, I was laughing. She was doubled over in pain, crying. Meanwhile, Emily is shitting her pants in the middle of the etiquette class, basically. And then Heather, of course, makes this snide comment about how Katie needs the etiquette class the most. I'm like, Heather, please. This is for dining etiquette. This is how to hold your fucking spoon. This isn't about how to treat other people. I'm sorry, it's not landing. Whatever Heather's trying, it's not landing for me.
Yeah, and then Gina said it best. She's like, look, this group, we are not demure or mindful.
No.
And no etiquette class is going to change that.
No, let's just stop. I mean, even Class with the Countess, like, that era didn't last long. So let's just move away from the etiquette class. That is not why we watch Real Housewives. We don't want these ladies to have etiquette. Let's be real. But of course, the dinner turns into a classic Housewives trope of peak and pit. And Tamara uses this as another opportunity to go for Shannon because she's like, well, my pit was when Jen came in and attacked me in my room because Shannon provoked her. And Shannon kind of tries to defend herself. And Tamara just goes in for it again. You're a liar. You're a drunk. And thank God for Gina for standing up for Shannon. That is enough. Stop going after her alcohol consumption. Let her follow her own journey. It's getting to be too much. And it spirals. Then Jen and Tamara go at it. Tamara's like, why are you backing up Shannon? Why are you believing Shannon to Jen? And, Jen's like, actually, Shannon has been a good friend to me, unlike you. Then we have Jen talking about, bringing up everything that Tamara had said, talking about the bookie, the FBI, Tamara trying to create a moment saying, oh, are you going to get a hit out on me? It was it just spiraled into, it's like this was Tamara's motivation, right? To call everything out again. It's like, she's literally just repeating the same lines that she said before. Right. She has nothing new to bring to the story. It's just, I'm really getting tired of it.
Yeah, no, she has nothing. And then, she says, all right, I'm good. And Tamara's like, oh, we're good. No, we're not good. I just want you to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I'm good on you.
Yeah. So, okay. After dinner, we see Tamara and Heather talking in their room. And then we see Gina and Emily and Shannon, right? And out comes this information about how last year before the reunion, Shannon was trying to dig up information on Gina. And there was something like some blog article saying that Gina was accused of pushing Travis down the stairs. I never even saw this in the moment. Did you?
No, me neither. Nope.
Okay, so it wasn't a big story. And honestly, I don't believe it. Gina just doesn't seem like that person. We've never seen her be physically violent.
She's no Kelly Dodd. Let's put it that way.
No. And she says that Shannon was trying to use Taylor Armstrong's husband to look into this. And Taylor was basically saying, he's not getting involved in this. That's not even what kind of attorney he is, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So I seriously did have a deja vu moment because 5-6 seasons ago, there was a massive storyline about Kelly pushing her mom down the stairs. And there was audio of Tamra and
Shannon
talking about it over coffee. And who was there and who recorded the audio? You guys, it was our very own Bravo Breaking News herself, Kim. That audio made it into the episode and basically fueled this entire storyline. So Kim, how do you feel about this sort of coming around again?
I can't believe that I haven't told this story before. But yeah, I mean, I was there in Laguna Beach at Laguna Coffee Co. Tamra and Shannon were filming. I was sitting in the coffee shop, like furiously, like recording, getting BTS footage. I couldn't hear what they were talking about. They were probably 20 feet away, 25, 30 feet away. Couldn't hear a single word that they were talking about. I was just recording and posting in the moment because, oh my gosh, I'm seeing the Housewives film. Then people start sharing this and it gets picked up like before I even have time to listen to what they're talking about. Then, yes, it recorded Tamra saying that Kelly threw her mother down the stairs, and the whole storyline began because of my Instagram story, which was featured on the episode. So, yes, I guess you could call me a little bit of a shit stirrer myself, but it was unintentional. And like I said, I can't believe we have another story about somebody throwing somebody else down the stairs. It's absolutely insane. And
it's so wild.
And the fact that I never heard, you know me, I'm online all the time. I am posting the biggest headlines all the time. Never heard about this once. So the fact that Tamra is the one that is bringing this to light, bringing it on camera and telling everybody about it, once again, I blame her. I am defending Shannon. I think that Tamra is classic at twisting people's words and pulling out one nugget of information and blowing it out of proportion. So I think that Tamra and Shannon, of course, which we find out, had a conversation about this article. And Shannon said, oh, why don't we ask Taylor's husband about this? And then Tamra takes it and runs with that one line that Shannon said. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah. And what she doesn't realize is she's trying to make Shannon look bad in this, right? But she's only making herself look bad because at the end of the day, Shannon might have said that, but she never said it publicly. And now you, Tamara, are saying it publicly, and you're adding fuel to this fire and like kindling it. And that's a problem. So Gina's going to be pissed at you, not at Shannon. And I think she's just scrambling and she's just trying to keep her head above water and is pulling anything that she can from her memory of shit that people have done. She's not thinking it through.
That's exactly what she's doing. Like I said, deflection. She's pulling out every little tiny thing that she could, use to shift the focus off of her in the moment. And it is like scrounging from the bottom of the barrel, these things that should never be brought to light, other people weren't planning on talking about, should never, have been like, it seems like this has a lot to do with Travis's ex, who is obviously problematic, and there are a lot of legal issues going on. So for Tamra to bring that back up to the surface is just fucking low. And to skip ahead a little bit, let's just go to this brunch where it all goes down. Shannon arrives after she has used her enema and taken the dump that she compares to giving birth to twins.
How many enemas have we seen Shannon Beador take on this show?
Like quite a bit. I think a lot of them thanks to Dr. Moon. Dr. Moon wasn't on this trip, but she still was able to administer it with the ladies' help. So props to the ladies for being a part of that, because I'm not sure that I would be so supportive in this.
And I love how she's saying, I'm so embarrassed, you guys. I'm so embarrassed. And they're like, don't be embarrassed. It's okay. Meanwhile, the editors are shady as fuck, and they're putting on the Chiron, like on the lower third, 3 days since Shannon has pooped.
I mean, honestly, I can relate. If you guys can relate, please drop a comment, because I feel so much better that it doesn't just happen to me. I'm glad that I can, feel at one with Shannon Beador in this moment. So I get it. I get it. But
wasn't she doing like a portable enema with Dr. Moon at one point? Like, where is that? Why hasn't that come to market, and why didn't she pack it with her?
I agree. You're bringing this back to my memory. Wasn't it some sort of like some sort of thing that was going to sit on the toilet that you like sat your butt on, right?
I don't remember the specifics, but it seemed like it would have come in handy in this moment.
Shannon, time to bring that idea back around. I mean, she needs the money. She's got to pay off Johnny J and all these legal fees. So Shannon, bring that business idea back around since her food line didn't quite work out. Real for real.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of Shannon, Heather, we find out that Heather has now told the entire group what Shannon said about the night of the DUI when she confided in her in that moment in the hotel in Napa. And Shannon confronts her about this, but I appreciated that Shannon did not do it in front of the whole group.
Yeah.
She said, let's talk. They went outside and had a civilized conversation, and the lies just start spewing out of Heather Dubrow because, you know, Heather was like, I didn't know that this was a secret. I didn't know that you told me not to tell anybody. Cut to them saying, like, you know, I really don't want everybody to know about this. Heather said we don't have to bring this to the group.
Right.
Another reason why Heather is completely losing me this season. I think Tamra's rubbing off on her, and it's not a good look.
Yeah, they're both getting sloppy, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, and she keeps saying that Shannon's trying to control the narrative of her DUI. And to me, I'm like, no shit. She's trying to control the narrative of her DUI. She's the only one that was there when it happened. So honestly, nobody else can really say anything that would even make sense. Of course, there are things that maybe she might leave out of what happened that night. I don't think that she's making up the fact that John might have heard the accident or crash. Like,
right.
Make this make sense for me, please, because I'm not following.
Kim, I wish I could do that for you, but unfortunately I can't because it doesn't make sense. But while they're having that conversation outside, Tamra is revealing all to Gina about the pushing down the stairs, and Shannon was trying to dig this up. And yeah, I feel really bad for Gina in this moment because you could tell that this was something that she, you know, had to deal with at one point, and it seemed like she probably did a good job of getting it buried because we hadn't heard about it yet. And now she's like, great, thank you so much for saying this on camera, Tamra. And she is, you know, Tamra's basically saying it was already out there. And it's like, yeah, but not really. And now this is going to be a focal point and everyone's going to put their opinion in. And I don't know. It's just, again, backfiring on Tamra because she thinks Gina should be pissed at Shannon, but Gina's actually pissed at Tamra. And I would be too.
I agree. And I think you can really tell the truth, like about based on how somebody reacts, right? So Tamra is like spewing all this shit everywhere in every direction about everybody. Meanwhile, when Shannon walks back in and Shannon, like they tell her what's going on, Shannon's like, please, Tamra, you're the one who told me about this article in the first place. Like, it's like, you know, it's not like she has, you know, had this brewing and being like, oh, what am I going to say about this comeback? Shannon did not know that this was going to be brought up. And her immediate reaction, you could tell if she was like being defensive and kind of blew it out of proportion. But she's like, come on, Tamra, like, let's be real. This is, you know, you're the one that brought it to light. Before she storms off, yes, she does, of course, do her signature storming off. But before that, I feel like her reaction told me that it actually was Tamra. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like so up Shannon's ass that I will believe what she says over Tamra. I am Shannon's enema. Yes. That I will believe everything she says over Tamra's. It really doesn't matter what she could say, that the earth is flat. And I'd be like, okay, Shannon, yes, I think that this lady is right. But
him, not a flat earther.
But I just think that Tamra has no accountability at this point.
No.
She has everything she says has proven to not be true or a spin on the truth. And gosh, I can't stress enough how much I dislike her, and I hope she does not return next season.
So everyone's saying that. Everyone's saying, get rid of Tamra. I'm over. I'm not watching anymore if Tamra comes back. And I agree. But she's also, I mean, she is responsible for a lot of the drama, and she always has been. So it's like we don't want it, but we kind of keep rewarding her for it because we keep watching. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, you guys. But I personally am just, I'm getting a little tired of it. And I start to shut down when it starts to get really dark. Things like accusing Gina of, assaulting her boyfriend, beating him, throwing him down the stairs, getting the kids involved. Like, to me, it's too far. It's becoming a little bit too Jersey of everyone trying to dig up something on one another. And honestly, I'm glad that Shannon and Tamara aren't friends anymore because it seemed like the two of them had a little bit of a toxic sort of back and forth on text, always trying to dig things up on other people. And I don't like that. It's too dark for what this show is meant to be.
I agree, but it's one thing to do it over text where supposedly you think nobody's going to see. It's another thing to bring it to light on camera. So I blame Tamra for bringing the darkness to this franchise this season. I blame Tamra for backing Alexis up and bringing her more into the mix, defending her, encouraging her, pushing her to bring everything out against Shannon. And I just think it's giving Lisa Rinna's final season. A lot of people are saying this, and I couldn't agree more. It's becoming too transparent. You're becoming too produced. And we like somebody that's authentic and brings something personal to the show that isn't revolved around other people. And we got rid of Rinna. It was a little bit of a blow at first, but we've moved on and we're thriving. Beverly Hills is great. The trailer just dropped yesterday, and
so excited.
Wow. So that's my take. Okay. I can't believe. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, just one more thing. When you said Alexis' name, I was like, oh my God, I didn't even think about her this episode. And I think this was the first episode in the whole season where we didn't talk about John Jansen. So for that,
I know, breath of fresh air. Breath of fresh air. Thank you, Bravo. This London trip, I'm so glad she didn't come. But yeah, things are getting really fucking messy. Tamara's to blame. I cannot say it more. We can barely keep up with the names involved in all of these storylines going on because it's just too chaotic. And I think we need to bring the chaos level down a bit. However, next week is the season finale. I can't believe that we're already at the finale. Everything's going to go down. Alexis is going to be back into the mix. I believe John Jansen shows up to this finale party, and I believe we're going to get a final Shannon storming out of the event. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm ready for the season to end, but also not. I am interested to see what goes down at the reunion. That's going to be crazy. I don't know. Overall thoughts on the season.
I mean, it does seem quick. It seems like just yesterday when Katie was accusing Heather of staging paparazzi photos. And I feel like it did go quickly. But also, when one season ends, another begins, because we have Beverly Hills starting. We're in Salt Lake City. We're in New York. I know you're not in love with New York, but I'm still having fun with it. So yeah, there's still a lot going on.
Let's dissect that a little bit. So we got New York, Salt Lake, and Potomac going on.
And Potomac, yeah.
Can you rate them 1, 2, and 3? Just currently, not overall, just so far.
I go Salt Lake, New York, Potomac.
Okay.
What's your ranking?
All right. I'm probably going to do Salt Lake, Potomac, New York. Okay. And I'm going to do a little Watch What Happens Live here. Can you defend it? Real Housewives of New York. Go.
Okay. So I don't know. I think there's something about the fact that it's still their second season and we don't know them that well. So I'm still getting to know these ladies. And it feels fresh. Whereas I think my problem with OC is I've seen this show before. I've seen it play out. I know what's going to happen. I know Tamara's going to be an asshole. And on New York, I'm still sort of guessing. Like last season, I didn't really like Sai very much. This season, I'm into Sai. I think Jessel is hilarious. I think Brynn and Uba going at it is like, oof, it's tough. I think Uba is, she's a bitch. I mean, I hate to like just come out and say that because that's not really the type of person I am, but she was really mean to Aaron last season. And I thought, okay, well, that was really bad, but maybe she just had a bad moment. This season, she is really mean to Brynn. And I'm like, maybe this is just who she is. So I'm still interested. I still love seeing Jenna Lyons. I wish we were getting more from Rebecca Minkoff because she has so far contributed nothing. But ask her about her business. Like this woman built a huge fashion business and they haven't talked about it once. So where is that? I don't know. I'm having fun.
I agree. I'm going to keep watching, but it's definitely not really doing much for me. Salt Lake, once again, is absolutely killing it. I know a lot of you guys said you aren't watching Salt Lake. I don't know if you guys are watching New York. Give it a go, but don't sleep on Salt Lake City. These ladies are bringing it. I loved this week's episode. Oh, gosh, it's so good. Potomac is rearing up. I think we're in for quite a season there, too. And we have Beverly Hills. So I don't know. We are just like in full Housewives mode. I love it so much. And it's just the gift that keeps on giving into the holiday season and beyond. I'm so happy about Bravo doing it this way. So, all right. I wanted to get through some of the other franchises. I'm glad we were able to discuss. Let us know what you guys are liking, watching, what franchise you're loving the best. And stay tuned. We'll be back next week for the recap of the OC finale and the reunions to come. So hit that subscribe button and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, everyone.